Hey, it's Ryan Miller from Black Rheno, and you're listening to Collision on Voice FM. Hello, Ryan speaking.
Hi Ryan, it's Kat. How are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
Oh, I'm not too bad. Yeah.
What's the way?
I haven't just released an EP though.
No.
No. Is that your first one actually?
That's our first EP. We haven't actually just released it. We released it, I think it was like a year ago.
Oh.
And this is like our last little tour off the back of that before we go and record an album.
Geez, it took a while to find its way to me. I've had a couple of tracks, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. No, yeah, we put that out. I think it was like the end of, it might have been November 2016.
It's a toddler
it might be
now.
that long ago. I think. I think it is, yeah.
Wow. Because you only formed like a year before that in late 2015.
Yeah, we got together at the end of 2015, probably about that same time. About a year later, we put out an EP. So it's sort of it's about that time basically.
Well, you seem to have like hit the scene really hard since then. I'm assuming you guys all have backgrounds in other bands.
Yeah, I've played in a few different bands and I've toured around the country a whole bunch with previous stuff. And then also our guitarist, he's a Spanish fella, so he actually lived in Australia about a month before he met me and we started this band. And prior to being in Australia, he was living in London for like 4 years with a really cool band over there. And he's toured around Europe a whole bunch. He also had a band in Italy for a while. He's sort of moved around a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then, our drummer as well, he's played a bunch of bands up on the Central Coast before he came down to Sydney. And, we all sort of have mucked around a bit before and thought, let's not muck about too much. Let's get stuck into it and go hard.
Yeah, and you've done that exactly, and you've gotten a lot of attention for it too.
Yeah, it's been really, really, really cool. Like, we have honestly put like, a ton of time and effort and all that kind of thing into, into going out and playing as many shows as we possibly could, and more so to the point, as many places as we possibly could, not just trying to play, 100 shows an hour in town. Yeah, from the very get-go, we were like, okay, cool, let's book our first gig and then let's book a tour. And then we just started doing that straight away. And then,
well,
kept doing it.
Your attitude and the way you're doing it reminds me of another band that started around the same time my radio show did, actually. And you have the lead singer featuring in your No Time for Numbnuts video. Of course,
yes,
King Parrot
fellas.
Yeah,
Matt Young. Good mates of those dudes.
Yeah. Well, they've took the same philosophy of, playing a lot of shows and building up an audience.
Yeah, it's funny that we, I guess it's probably why we get along so well, having since met and all that kind of stuff as well. We've got, a similar approach in that sense. But, I think it's just, we all just want to tour around and play as many shows and go to as many different places and all, do all that really, really fun stuff. So, I've sort of done the whole play around the local scene a bunch before. And I don't know, I just didn't want to waste any time. None of us wanted to waste any time. So it was just like, well, let's just go 100 miles an hour and see where that takes us.
Yeah. Well, I think even like musically speaking, you could hear that you and King Parrot would make an awesome show together. I wonder, have they been any sort of an influence on you in any way, and what other bands maybe influence your sound?
I think, what influenced our sound? Well, I mean, all of us in the band have got some sort of pretty different backgrounds in music anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up more of a punk as my younger years and all that kind of stuff. And then Dougie, the drummer, he's more like a death metal sort of kid. And then our guitarist, he's more that stoner metal sort of stuff with grind and all that kind of thing. So I think the influences are just like there's influences from Bad Brains through to, Napalm through to, all sorts of death metal and everything. It's all random influences really.
Right. Yeah.
And then, I guess King Parrot's definitely an influence. It's funny that before Mariano came to Australia, he had an Australian girlfriend living in London, and she was her visa was running up. She had to come back, and he started to make this decision: do I, I'm going to come back to Australia, move to Australia with this girl, and make that decision of leaving his band and all that kind of stuff because he had a really cool band. And it was actually because he'd come across King Parrot and he was like checking out their videos and listening to their music. And he thought, man, if there's bands like this in Australia, fuck, it's got to be pretty cool. Let's give it a go, you know? And that was like literally one of the things that made him sort of go, yeah, let's go to Australia. Yeah, I can do my band stuff over there.
Right, yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Yeah.
I'm guessing though, kind of like King Parrot, that especially seeing as you do have a European in your band, that you guys are looking at going over to Europe pretty soon?
Yeah, we're going to basically, after this tour that we're doing now, we're going to get stuck into the recording the first album. Mm-hmm. And then, that's the dream, isn't it? We want to go tour Europe, we want to go tour the States, we want to go tour Japan, we want to go tour New Zealand. I'm going to go everywhere. So, but that's definitely like our big goal is to try and, when that's going to be, I don't know. It all just depends on stuff that happens after the album and before the album is released as well. So there's a few little things in the backdrop going on that we're sort of working on, and hopefully some stuff, comes together.
Well, considering the EP's a toddler now and you're mentioning the album, when is the album expected?
We don't have any release dates. We will be getting stuck into the recording in April. So like literally as soon as this tour is finished, we're going to be straight in the studio probably within the next, I'd say, 2 weeks after that. I'd say we'll start tracking drums by mid-April. And then we do all the recording ourselves. I've got a studio here in Sydney. So we sort of fit it around, actual paying customers that come through. Mm-hmm. And then... yeah, I'd say that'll probably take us a month or so to track it because I've got the place. We don't really need to just like get in there and smash it all at once. We can take our time with it and get it just how we want it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'm hoping to, I don't know. I don't want to say a date or anything because I don't know what it is. There's too many.
Second half of this year, you're hoping.
Little things in it. Yeah, second half of this year. Yeah, second half of this year. That's what
awesome.
It'll be.
And that means you'll have to tour Australia again because it's going to be moving into winter in Europe and you don't want to tour Europe in winter.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, I mean, I really don't know when we'll get to Europe at this stage. I really don't know. But we'll be definitely touring Australia again. As soon as that album's ready and, we release it, we'll do like a massive Aussie tour. I just want to go crazy and play heaps of places.
Well, can I ask, before we talk about the tour more, with how you've hit it with this band the last, 2.5, 3 years,
yep.
Is there something you've learnt particularly this time round that you hadn't really picked up in any of the others?
I think I learned a lot because, I'm in my mid-30s. I'm not like a 21-year-old or anything. I'm like 34, almost 35. So
not quite ready for the pension yet. But
No, hell no, I never will be. But I learned a lot growing up and through, doing things the wrong way and all that kind of stuff in previous bands, I think. Mm-hmm. So I was sort of like, I did my apprenticeship over the last 15 years. And then, I've just learned a lot about just how to organise things, how to go about organising things the right way. And more than anything, it's also just the work ethic of the people that you're involved with, being able to rely on those people and all being, like similar-minded. Not everyone's exactly the same, but all having that common goal that you all really, really want to do because, all the organising and booking tours and all the stuff that goes on in the backdrop of a band, it takes time and you do it all yourself. It's like a second job almost. And the most important thing, I think, is having that tight crew, that band that, are all just on that same page, and willing to put those hours in and put that effort in and all that kind of stuff. And whenever I see Australian bands or, things like that going overseas and doing it, like when you see like Dead City Ruins or you see recently Hobo Magic, heading off over to Japan and things like that. And I just love seeing all those bands do those cool things because I know how, how hard it is to do it, to get to that point where you go, okay, cool, we've been organising this for so many years and working on it non-stop, and then they start putting things in action. Yeah, I get really motivated when I see bands doing that kind of stuff. Yeah, you just got to have that just like not here to muck about like attitude, just hell for leather, let's go and try and do it smart.
Yeah, so kind of Black Rheno is a culmination of everything you've learned put into action. Yeah,
I think so, and for all of us as a band, like totally. Yeah, everything we've all learnt over the years in our different endeavours come together.
Yeah, it's all about the live show. Well, no, it's not all about the live show, but a lot of it is.
It's all about the live show. That's why we're playing this music. It is all about the live show. It's all about, that's the part, that's the best part. It's the best part of all of it.
And speaking of which, you're doing the final Cult Australian tour.
Yep.
which, like the Final Cult, isn't that the EP?
Yeah, so it's just a play on words. So the EP is called Let's Start a Cult.
Oh, right, yep. Oh, yeah, so this is the final tour for that EP.
Yeah, this is like the final. This is kind of like, I mean, we'll still obviously play some songs off it on the next tour, but we'll be coming out with a bunch of new songs and all that kind of stuff. And it's just a, fun way to play on words. Every tour needs a title, so it's sort of a fun play on words. And
you could have called it that we just don't need an excuse for a tour.
Yeah, you will. I mean, you don't really need an excuse for a tour. You just want to do it. But you know what I mean? You can basically just call it whatever you want, really. But I think it's it's a fun way to play on the words. It's a fun way to bring attention to the fact that this is our last one, and now we're bringing out an album. And I think that's sort of, we wanted to let people know, hey, this is the last time you're going to catch us for a little while, and soon we're going to have an album out. This is the last run from that EP. So it's a good way of sort of, I think, making that an obvious thing, or trying to at least.
Yeah. And you do have your first show tonight.
Yes. The first show's tonight. Actually, we're about to smash it up on stage at Mo's Desert Clubhouse on the Goldie here.
Yeah. Yeah, then tomorrow night, the 3rd of March, you're at the Zoo in Brisbane. Yep,
at the Zoo in Brisbane. Can't wait to get to that place. It's a killer venue.
Yeah.
I love it up there. So looking forward to that.
That's what I was going to say. That's a good get, that one, the Zoo.
Hey?
That's a good get in Brisbane, the Zoo.
Yeah. It's really cool. We played there after Dead of Winter Festival last year, and that was a super fun night. It was pretty wild. It was pretty late in the evening because we'd already played Dead of Winter, and that festival had finished, and then we went there. I think we played at like 2 a.m. or something.
Awesome. Yeah, and then the following weekend, the 9th of March, you're in Canberra at the Basement.
Yep.
And the 10th, you're in, I was going to say hometown show, but Melbourne's not your hometown. You're at the Bendigo Hotel in Melbourne. And that's
going to be a pretty massive show, that one too. We've got like 9 bands playing on it. It kicks off at about 4:30 in the afternoon or something.
All right, is that a festival?
Yeah, we've made that into like a little mini fest. It's sort of by accident where there was like, and I always sort of hooked up a bunch of bands to play with, and then the guy that runs the venue, he had a couple of other bands that wanted in, and we just sort of went, let's just make a little day of it. Like, why not?
Yeah, awesome.
It just sort of turned into this little fest.
Has it got a particular name, or is it just
we're just calling it the Final Cult Fest.
Right. So people can look that up on Facebook to find an event for it?
Yeah, we've got events for all the shows up on Facebook and all that. You can get all the tickets and stuff there. So it's all, head to the Black Rheno page. You can find all that goodness.
Which is just Black Rheno on Facebook.
Yeah.
And then, the 16th, you do have a hometown show in Sydney at the Factory Floor.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool playing with some really, really cool bands. Like punky grime band called Graham, another stoner rock sort of band, Potion. And we got like Witchfight and Simonis, which are sort of both, the sludgy, stonery sort of world, I guess you'd call it. So it's going to be some mates in there, so it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, you are playing some really good venues on this too, because the 23rd you're at the Enigma Bar in Adelaide as well. So
Yep.
You got some of the really big venues.
Yeah, it's funny because we didn't really plan this thing with the sort of normal lead-in time that we would like to or would normally do. Because we got at the end of after the Napalm tour we did last year, we got stuck into writing, and we were like really busy writing and demoing songs and just sort of, I guess, just turned off for a little bit, from the the management side of the band, just because we've been going so hard, like literally non-stop for 2 years, just charging. So it was kind of good to just not be on the email every night for a month or so. And then we were like, oh shit, what are we going to do in the start of the year, Got to book a tour. So we sort of just, just before Christmas, just got on the email, started booking shows and trying to find venues and all that. And we thought it was going to be a little bit harder than it was. It actually came together quite easily with a bunch of good venues. So we were super stoked. I think we just got a little bit lucky that we had some the dates we were after just happened to line up with a couple of dates that were free at the good venues, and it just sort of just worked. It was really cool.
Well, that's what happens when you spend a lot of time playing live too. You build up a reputation with the venues.
Yeah, I guess that's also a good part of it as well. I guess they're, familiar with us now, so happy to put up with our shit.
And, well, the night after Adelaide, on the 24th, you're in Perth at the Boston.
Yep.
And then the weekend of the 30th and 31st, you're over in Tassie. You're at Launceston on the 30th and Hobart on the 31st.
Yep, and that'll be our first trip to Tasmania ever. first time ever to Tasmania,
cool.
full stop.
So if you sort of take a big bite out of the Northern Territory, it is a national tour.
Yep. We haven't actually gotten past Brisbane yet as far as going north, which it just comes down to money and being able to, trail like the amount of time you have, because we all work and all that kind of stuff, time off work and all those sorts of things and travel. And then sort of you got to work out where the main populations and stuff are as well. So they sort of obviously you need to go to those places first. But when we do the actual album tour, we really want to make that like a much bigger tour with, a lot of dates on it and be able to get to some places we haven't actually had a chance to get to yet.
Cool, look forward to it. And you do have a website too, blackrheno.com.
Yep, we don't update it very often.
Okay. Well, you've got links to your Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and everything there. And
Facebook
Bandcamp.
and Instagram are the best too to sort of keep in contact with us and keep up with what's happening and all that kind of stuff.
So, if they can't find you anywhere else, they can go to blackrheno.com. Otherwise, go to Black Rheno on Facebook, which is probably what most people do first anyway nowadays.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what everyone sort of does mostly. It's just Facebook when it comes to that side of things.
And people can actually...
But we do need to get off our butts and update the website, I think, as well. I will admit.
Well, you make sure it's all shiny for the new album.
It will be very shiny.
Yeah.
It will be very, very shiny. EP. What am I saying? Website. Yeah, you know what I mean.
You are blackrheno.bandcamp.com too. The EP is available on there at the moment. Yep.
You can get it from there. You can order it from Rocket Distribution, and also it's on Spotify as well. So you can just listen to it for free there.
Yeah. And then you can go to a show and buy some merch so the band can eat.
Exactly. Come to the show and boogie with us and buy our merch. And high fives all around. It'll be a great time.
I was just going to ask actually if there's something you want to say to your fans listening, but I think you were almost just saying it then. No, please do.
Yeah, thanks for coming to the shows, and hopefully we see you more. And let's party and boogie. That's pretty much what it's about.
Yeah. I was earlier in the interview, I was kind of likening you to King Parrot, and your sound is kind of King Parrot, but you do have a lot more of that stoner sludge sound in there than King Parrot. So it is different. It's not like it's the same.
Yeah, it's definitely different. But there's definitely influence from them as well. Like, before we met those guys and became mates with them, like, we're just fans of the band anyway. So there's definitely influence there. For sure.
Yeah, and what about the album then? Is it going to, like, the EP, is that a sort of indicator of what the album's going to be like? Yeah,
I think it's an indicator, and then it gets, I think there's just a bit more of everything on there, obviously there's more songs, so you've got the opportunity to do that, but then there's some songs that are, like, really crazy heavy, sort of like, they've got, like, a Dillinger Escape Plan almost kind of influence. I wouldn't say it's the same, but definitely influence. And then, and there's some more grindy stuff on there as well, which I think that's sort of just a reflection of the bands we've been touring around and playing with, like King Parrot and then like Psychroptic and playing with Napalm Death and Lockup and Behavior and stuff. And I think that's just, we've just been involved in that sort of grind world a bit. I think a bit more of that grind has rubbed off onto us. But then there's other songs that are just super rocky and, that stoner metal groove rock sort of vibe. So, it's a bit of a journey. It's not one style of music, that's for sure. It's got a good variety through it, I think.
Look forward to it. And it's all going to be going down at the House Fox Studios in Sydney, which are your studios. So do you want to give them a plug?
Yeah. I mean, if anyone wants to come and record with me, that's where to do it. It's fun.
Yeah, look up Ryan and through Black Rheno or through House Fox Studios. Even better.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for that.
That's okay. Thanks so much. It has been great catching up with you.
Yeah, it's been a good chat.
And I look forward to watching how you guys grow from here because, like, I did watch another band grow and you remind me of them just in the way you're conducting yourselves.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So it's exciting to watch and people should definitely jump on Black Rheno.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you.
And I look forward to chatting again one day.
Yep, definitely.
Thanks
definitely. No, thanks for the time and the support and the interview and all that. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, and you have a great gig tonight.
We will. It's going to be a humdinger of a show, that's for sure.
Awesome. Thanks a lot.
Awesome. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.